I call this meeting to order. It is 6:30. Roll call.
Christian,
Here.
Jeske,
Here.
Bowles, Oster, Souter,
Here.
Whittington,
Here.
Halliday.
All right. All rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Whittington,
Full support.
supported by Jeske. All those in favor with the raised right hand, aye.
Right.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Souter,
Support.
supported by Whittington. All those in favor with the raised right hand, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Student and staff recognition.
Before we move to that, I want to welcome Mariah Beecher. Mariah, good to see you out there.
Thank
Hi
you.
there. New to Collins, new to the area. Who do you have with you?
This is my husband Jared.
Good to see you, Jared.
So we're
Alright.
both Glavin graduates and just moved back home.
Nice.
Welcome.
Outstanding. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Alicia, sounds like you're excited. I know you've been keeping me updated about all the interviews and all the good things going on. So, Mariah, welcome.
Thank you.
Super happy to have you here. All right, now, where are we? I'm in my student staff recognition. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. I just want to give a big thanks to all of our Dienberg custodians, George and Doug, Eric and Todd, Kim Chinnery, for all the extra efforts to get the buildings ready, the Skyward rollover ready, online enrollment up and running, the campus grounds ready. This summer has demanded more of everyone in every single area, and everyone's really working hard to deliver. When you're doing this many different projects at once, the fact that we're tripping right along kind of on target with every single one but one, there is always one that's a little off, but all the ones that matter as far as opening school are right on time and right on target. We did learn of a slight delay on one. I'll go into that later, but just wanted to give a big round of applause and thank you to all of the staff that have really pulled the rope in the same direction hard this summer, and two of them are sitting right here. So Kim and Doug, thank you so much, because it's been all hands on deck, so really appreciate it.
Public comments? All right, seeing none. Presentation of student handbooks.
You want to go first, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe that we have 33 proposed changes to the student handbook this year, but 21 of them are just clerical, cleaning up some formatting. Last year we had a handbook committee. We went through and we made some pretty big changes. We actually reduced the handbook from, I think it was 98 pages to, it is currently sitting at 65 pages. So we just got rid of some of the unnecessary language, some outdated things that hadn't been enforced or part of the day-to-day process, and then we added a lot of junior high clarities. So that left us with about a dozen actual changes, and so that has been shared in a Google Doc. But I want to go through one of them. Is we have removed sea lunch, and so as we have started talking about becoming a school within a school, 6th through 8th grade is largely considered a middle school cohort. We have the ability to create a 7th through 9th grade cohort that we believe best practices are going to support that group. So you have 7th and 8th grade middle school, and then if we still feel like we can give our 9th graders a soft landing spot as they're learning like building expectations, and then having that last year in that junior high cohort where their grades are now going on their transcripts and things like that, but they're truly getting that final year before we kind of hand them off to prepping for college and career readiness and things like that. So we've eliminated sea lunch, and so we'll have 7th through 9th grade lunch cohort, and so we just eliminated that from the handbook. Transitioning, We made some changes to our cell phone language. Last year we changed the cell phone policy, but we still want our students to access their phones during non-instructional time, lunch, before school, and after school. And so we changed the language specifically to be phones are not accessible during instructional time, which is to say, when you look at a class schedule and you see that there's a first hour happening, it doesn't matter what your role is in the building, you shouldn't have your phone, because we are all during instructional time. And then we did, I don't feel like it should be necessary, but it is. We made a statement, cell phones are prohibited in bathrooms and locker rooms. It was not explicit language, and we wanted it to be. We added language. One of the things that happens at extracurricular events is we get a lot of, because you have students from other districts who might attend our games, and sometimes you have some behaviors that you need to address. We have required if our students are going to get into those events for free, we want to enforce that you need to have your student ID on you. We are one of the only districts in the area that allow our students to attend athletic events for no cost, and we don't feel like having an identifying, an ID card showing who you are, what grade you are. We don't think that's too big of an ask, and it certainly makes our jobs easier when it comes to managing some of the discipline within that. We made the CTC transportation rules that we talked about last year. We made an amendment mid-year, so we're certifying that amendment. We also added the Kirtland Community College addendum, in which students who are taking dual enrollment classes where they must attend at Kirtland, because those are single student classes, those are self-transport classes. We eliminated the word courtyard from locations where you can be at during lunch, primarily because if we take the students outside, it is a chaperone portion of the lunch, and all of our other policies keep lunches and meals in the cafeteria, and so we eliminated the courtyard from that. We made language changes that identify Odyssey Wear as our credit recovery agent. So we also do Edgenuity for online classes. So students who maybe have exhausted our curriculum and aren't ready to take dual enrollment classes, they can take courses on Edgenuity, but we wanted to be clear, Edgenuity are not credit recovery classes, that is Odyssey Wear. And so that language is pretty specific. Probably the biggest one and the most consequential one. So the world is just, it's changing, and we like to be very convenient, but there are some times where safety, the safety of our students takes precedence over anything. So previously we've had situations where parents can pull up in the turnaround and they would call into the office and say, I'm here to pick up my child. But we've seen a lot of cases, whether it's other districts, other states, where somebody calls in and says, please send my child out, and it's not the right parent or guardian. It's just a huge safety issue. So we now have language, if a child is going to be signed out from the school, and the parent is not going to physically sign them out, they have to have a driver's permit, a parking permit, meaning that they are a student driver who is able to come and go as they please. If your child doesn't have that parking permit, you need to come into the building and sign them out so that we can physically see that you are the parent of record in Skyward, because we did have last year multiple occasions where a parent who was not identified as a guardian, or even a situation where a parent who was not allowed to take that child tried to call us in to have their child released. And so it's a huge safety issue, and our secretaries manage a million things a day, and they felt that language would help them immensely. So again, it is an inconvenience to parents, but we'll take that minor inconvenience to make sure that we never have a big mistake. Made some changes to the dress code. There's just some power struggles we're not willing to have. Kids can express themselves. We know what that threshold is, and so we just made a few, changes within that. You know, we're gonna stick to, you know, appropriate, like, we don't want, you know, bare midriffs, we don't want cut off shirts, but, we all agreed, like, spaghetti straps is just, that's not controversial, kids, like, they can wear that, like, we're not gonna battle that. And so, it's, in tandem with some of the other dress codes that we've seen in the area where they've essentially gone to a two-sentence dress code. We wanted some black and white things that we could enforce. We didn't want at administrators' discretion, but we did also reduce some of those things. We made some changes to our election process. It used to be, you could not hand out anything when campaigning, and we changed the language. If somebody wants to make cards that say, vote for me, you can hand that out. We're still not allowing you to buy votes, so you can't show up, hand out $5 bills. But you certainly, if you wanna make some creative signs and hand those out, we're not going to stifle the democratic process here. We reduced, so you can have fundraisers now after February 15th. You can have a fundraiser even if it's not on the calendar by February 15th. We have challenged all of our clubs and activities to do great things, and sometimes they come to me in April. I've got a lot of money in August, you come to me in April, and I'm not nearly so friendly. And so, we'll be like, yeah, you can do this, but you need to raise the money. And I had one person last year say, well, I can't raise the money, I can't have a fundraiser after February 15th. And so we struck that language also out of the handbook. And then, let me see, I have another thing here that I want to find. I think this was the last one, maybe. Most consequential. Oh, yes, so the last one and the most consequential one, we removed the language on school dances. So, the language on school dances to bring a guest. It says, guests of Houghton Lake High School, or Houghton Lake Junior Senior High School must be no younger than 9th grade or older than 20 years old, unless there is an exception made for a guest over 20 that is approved by the principal. And I spoke to Mr. Watson, and I do not see an exception to allow a 21-year-old who can purchase vapes and alcohol, and bring them to a school dance. I do not see an exception that I would ever make, and so I took that language out. So 20 or younger, and we actually changed the language to where if you are 20, we then have to make the exception. 18, 19 is one thing, but when we start getting to 20 years old, it just, we wanna make sure that we're vetting that process pretty cleanly. So, that is it.
Alicia?
Sure. So just like Jeff, junior, senior high, we did a lot of changes to our handbook last year. This is just something that I had created just for my own personal use, but I asked about so you can refer back to it with the simple changes that we made this year. I think our biggest one was around, the attendance policy that we have. But, so on page 3, we updated the school board membership and the days of service. Then on page 10 and 11 is that truancy and attendance policy that we updated. And really, we just made some language changes just to make the language more concise and focus on the importance of regular attendance at school. And then we added some additional headings, so it was just easier for our families to follow. Then we did make one change to like when we're reporting and notifying for the truancy piece of it. And so just to be consistent within the district, we had 10 last year at Collins. And so we increased that unexcused absence number to 12, just to be consistent throughout the district. But other than that, again, it was just adding some headings for clear communication around attendance guidelines, the attendance notification policy, and then definitions. What does it mean to be excused, or excused absences, and what we listed some of what those were, and then what does it mean to be tardy, like what are those thresholds, and then what does it mean to be chronically absent. So those were some additions to that component. And then we just streamlined the concussion policy and put that under the heading of health, so that was pages 28 and 30, and then at the beginning under the heading section. And then the last and final change that we made for this year was just removing, we had names assigned to the Title IX and the 504 coordinator positions, and so we just removed the names of those staff just because it still has the address and who they need to contact there. So just so that we're not updating that yearly or often when we have changeovers and staff. So those were really the main, again, the main change was around attendance, and then just a few additional changes, because most of our updates happened last year, with our handbook policy committee. Any questions?
And I will handle Heidi's. She was unable to be here tonight, but I talked to her before the meeting. Essentially the same thing that you just heard from Jeff and Alicia. She had name changes for updating board members. She had date changes. The substance and the meat of her handbook is exactly the same with respect to some names and dates and page changes on the table of contents. So no substantive changes for hers.
All right. Anyone have questions?
No, I'll just make, the only comment I'll make is what I printed out was basically exactly what you guys hit on as far as the cell phones, the truancy, and the dress code, were the three probably highlights I hit, let alone seeing some of the other stuff, but the other stuff made complete sense too. But as long as we're enforcing and it's gonna be across the board, I like it a lot.
All right. Superintendent's report.
All right, I was sitting here thinking about how long it's been since I've given one of these. I think it's close to 5 weeks. So there's a lot has happened in 5 weeks. Some of this I touched on, so here we go. Some of this may be a repeat, but very few. Much of these are now completed, and last time I talked about them, they had started or were underway. Collins roof has been completed for a while. The ceiling tile project, if you walk through this building and Collins, they're dropping in the last tiles in areas where they're waiting on an electrical inspection. That's why around some of the lights you see a few tiles out, because they still need to get up and inspect. The new tile walls and new sinks in this building are in. Please go wash your hands after the meeting, you'll enjoy it. Bipolar ionization units, campus-wide, district-wide, have all been installed in the classroom univents to improve air quality, filtering out virus and allergens. The Collins front parking lot, the new sidewalks, the new LED lights, new curbs are in. The lot will not be open to traffic until we get some landscaping rocks delivered later this week. Until then, public use the back of the building to come in and out in the rear of the school, and then we'll open the front lot up when it's fully completed. The high school gym has been repainted, the floor has been refinished with the new stain, the new logo, the new key. The upstairs is ready for the poured floor, and this is the delay phone call I got earlier due to a crew shortage. They were scheduled to begin pouring on the 24th. They're now pouring according to the new schedule on the 31st. So they're going to start basically Labor Day weekend. And we were expecting a 2 to 3 week turnaround. They say they can get it done in 2 weeks, so it's still about the same anticipated time for us to get on the floor, which is mid-September. Jeff and Nate have already talked to coaches and the PE classes about the gym is ready to go and open for use with the exception of the upper deck weight room. So as we have been all summer, we're lifting outside in the pole barn, and the new equipment that has not yet been assembled is sitting in storage. We're not going to assemble it, but we are going to move it up there and station it in the closet so that when the poured floor goes in, we pull it out and it's ready to go. Right now, it's at the bus garage and under the bleachers wrapped in pallets and shrink wrap. So we're gonna get that upstairs and ready, so once the poured floor is done, it will be there. New athletic conference banners will be here soon, installed on the gym walls. The new track record boards are going back up on the walls. New scoreboards are scheduled to ship next week. They will be installed in coordination with the new rubber floor. All the weight room equipment, I already said this, is already here. New AC units for the common use spaces in this building are all installed. They're all being pressure tested. At least 2 of these 3 will be functional, we believe, by the start of school. That will be the library and the main office. The cafeteria might be slightly delayed by a week or 2 because they're still building a structural component to house the compressor unit on the roof. But they expect that up by mid-September. New boiler chimney stacks are in at Collins, and that really is the highlight of all of it. So we're coming down the home stretch. Everything is right on target. We expect occupancy from the state inspector August 24th or 25th. And so that's a nice cushion there of a bit of time in case they find one little thing that needs to be adjusted. Alicia and I met today with a regional director from Champions who drove up from Wayne County. Happy to report they've hired 3 staff. They're able to run with 36 kids. As soon as they hire the 4th assistant or a sub, they can go to 54 kids. And I said, keep hiring, because the early feedback I'm hearing is positive, and I think we're gonna have a lot of families, take advantage of that. So super excited to offer that free program for kids who attend Collins. I'm hearing good feedback from the radio and the newspaper ads. Excited to spread the good word about all things going on in Hope Lake Community Schools, and especially invite parents of Collins to take advantage of that after-school program. The School of Choice window, Kim, thanks for getting all this done, opens August 21, runs through September 8th. So parents who reside outside of the district and wish to enroll their children can do so two ways. They can do it electronically with fillable PDF forms on the website or via paper copy in the offices. And Alicia and Doug and I met today to plan a little fun. Alicia's super excited about it. We will be putting together a video showcasing the new flow around the new parking lot. So somebody's gonna video out the front and show the one-way traffic, the new entrance, the new exit. And then we're gonna do it again where we show the drop-off sequence where with the new sidewalk, we can now unload 10 kids at a time from 10 different cars, really speeding that process up. We'll have staff out there with their walkie-talkies, and we dedicated one entrance to be the K-1-2 entrance and then the 3-6 entrance. And so we're excited to showcase that and get the video out on our website. You'll send it out to all your Collins parents via school messenger. We'll get it out on social media. Alicia gets to be the star of the show. Doug's the cameraman. I get to drive a car. If any of you around, whatever day we designate, you want to be one of the 10 parents who drives through, we will recruit you, whoever's here. So you already know you're driving, I'm driving, whoever's here, driving.
I wanna go.
Yes.
I'm walking my kid in.
You get to go. Well, you can't do that. No. So Alicia's going to toe the hard line. So we're going to start off with training everybody up. One thing actually, as we look at that, I don't know if you've walked out and looked at that lot. It's massive. It's absolutely huge. But it will be nice that the GSRP families have their own dedicated entrance down on the west side of the lot, because they do have to stop, get out, and walk their kid in the door. And so they won't be trying to do that up where we're unloading everyone else. So I'm really happy that we dedicated their separate entrance, so they have their own area to come into the lower elementary, and then everybody else is offloading their children on the sidewalk and coming in the other doors. So really looking forward to the video, looking forward to how that's gonna work out. I think it's gonna be a lot safer. So thank you. That's the update.
So I will say I haven't had a chance to go look at the parking lot yet, but Paige had to go pick up one of her scholarships at Collins the other day, and she was like, she FaceTimed me when I was at work, and she was like, have you seen the new parking lot? And she was showing me
It's
the parking lot, cause
it's
she was
nice.
so impressed.
Yep, it is nice.
Any other questions? Alright, seeing none, we'll move on to action items. Looking for a motion to approve the 2023-2024 student handbooks.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Souter,
I'll support.
supported by Jeske. All those in favor with a raised right hand? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve the resolution calling for the election to renew our operating millage.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Whittington,
I'll support.
supported by Jeske. Discussion? Questions? Seeing none. Roll call?
Christian,
Yes.
Jeske,
Yes.
Folds, Oster, Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday,
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve the 2023-2024 agreement between HLCS and Bridges of Northern Michigan for the amount of $40,000 ESSER 3 funds.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Souter,
I'll support.
supported by Jeske. Discussion? Questions? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Halliday, Whittington,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Oster, Folds, Jeske,
Yes.
Christian,
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. I'm looking for a motion to approve the purchase of Aptigi website, app, and social media messaging platform in the amount of $21,170 from the general fund.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Whittington,
Support.
supported by Souter. Roll call.
Oster, Bowles, Geske,
Yes.
Christian,
Yes.
Halliday, Whittington,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve the TKS quote for cameras for the junior senior high in the amount of $26,272 out of a safety grant.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jeske. I'll support. Roll call.
Christian,
Yes.
Geske,
Yes.
Bowles, Oster, Halliday, Whittington,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve Superior Ground Cover Inc. quote for playground mulch at Collins in the amount of $11,700 from the safety grant.
Make the motion.
Motion by Souter,
I'll support.
supported by Jeske. Questions or discussion?
Motion.
Not yet.
All right, roll call.
Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday, Christian,
Yes.
Geske,
Yes.
Bowles, Oster,
Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve Rogers Athletic Company invoice for football practice equipment in the amount of $15,817. Total $8,000 first payment in the 2023-2024, $7,817 for the second payment in 2024-2025 football student activity account.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jeske,
Support.
supported by Whittington. Any questions or discussion? None? Roll call?
Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday, Oster, Bowles, Geske,
Yes.
Christian,
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve Rogers Athletic Company invoice for free weight equipment in the amount of $16,472 from boosters donation and athletic tournament revenue.
I'll support, or I'll make the motion. Sorry.
I'll support it.
Motion by Sauer, support by Jeske. Questions or discussion? All right, none? Roll call?
Christian,
Yes.
Geske,
Yes.
Bowles, Oster, Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday,
Motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve the Amazon quote for iPads for Collins in the amount of $19,115.52 from Essers 2. I'll make the motion,
I'll support it.
supported by Jeske. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Oster, Bowles, Geske,
Yes.
Christian,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday,
Alright, motion carries 4-0. Looking for a motion to approve Trafera quote for Chromebooks for the district in the amount of $88,830 from Essers.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Souter,
I'll support it.
supported by Jeske. Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call?
Christian,
Yes.
Geske,
Yes.
Bowles, Oster, Souter,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Halliday,
Motion carries 4-0.
That's a catch.
Clearly. Alright, 7, discussion. Do we have any?
I have just one, item. My grandson went to kindergarten camp and had a great time.
Nice.
He wasn't so sure when he woke up, but he made it. Did eating yoga, which
Nice.
I love that they're doing yoga. That's cool. So, thank you.
I'm gonna say that the posting we've seen through, especially the football program, I've seen some posts from a couple of the other fall sports, but especially the football program and the hard work and community support and getting really the help that they were looking for as far as like meal donations or drinks or whatever they needed. I've really just seen an outpouring. The shares on social media and things like that are really just impressive. Really watching the community come together for the teams is always wonderful to see.
Well, since we're on that, I haven't read the paper, and I didn't see the ad, but I did hear our very own Mr. Superintendent Ben Williams radio announcement, and I think he's gonna have, maybe be that next football announcer. He's got a radio voice.
I got a face for radio.
And I'll tell you what, there is a lot packed, is that a 1 minute?
1 minute.
1 minute, and there is a lot packed in there, but it's a good radio ad,
Appreciate it.
so. When did I catch it? I caught it Friday and I was in Saginaw, coming north,
Sounds good.
so.
There's a funny story.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I called down there and I said, hey, I've never done one of these. I have so much to share. I'm fired up. What are my options? They said 30 seconds or a minute. I said, all right, I got this. So I had a page and maybe just a little bit on the next page. I read it. I called myself so I would have the time on my voicemail. My first iteration was 2 minutes 16 seconds. How do I
Part one, part two.
like, how do I cut out so much good? So then I trimmed it to 1:50. Then it was 1:18. And then it was 1:03 for a while. I'm like, okay, I just gotta talk fast. But, so I called and I'm like, I'm ready. What do I do next? Because I've never done this. She's like, you come in, we set you down at the sound booth, and you get as many takes as it takes. I said, okay, I'm ready. I think I can hit it. She goes, no, remember, you gotta hit, are you doing 30 or 60? I said, 60. She said, it's gotta be 60. You can't do 57. I'm like, what? She goes, you can't do 57. We don't do dead time at radio. You gotta get it at 60. You can't be 62 or 57. You gotta hit it. I'm like, oh. And I happened to hit it. I hit it at 60 seconds.
What tape was that?
First take.
Oh, wow, congrats.
I got lucky. Yeah, I got lucky.
Impressive.
I think because I was nervous, I talked faster. Because I had it steady at 1:02. And I could not, because the southern drawl kicks in every now and then, so I slow down. But I was a little nervous. I was a little bit quick. But it worked out.
Sounds like we got some fall 30-second ads coming up too. Just because.
We might have to. Yep.
Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none. Look ahead on the board calendar, upcoming student events. And if you have time to, I'm sure, be at any of these things, it would be greatly appreciated. Meet the Team is tomorrow. I see that's not on here, but I know that